I would wake up in the morning and check my phone to like 10, 20 text messages of girls wanting to get their eyebrows done. And that's when I was like, holy, this is working.
Can hiring a marketer actually help your permanent makeup business? Well, today I'm very honored by an amazing client. She's been working with me a little over a year now. Her name is Grayce Davis. And so, Grayce, can you tell us a little bit about your business, how long you've been doing this, and let's dive into it.
So I specialize in just brows. I do microblading, powder brows, and combination brows. I've been doing this for only 2 years now, so I haven't been doing it for long, but I feel like very successful this second year in my business, and I have a lot to thank you for.
Oh, well, thank you. So we started a little over a year ago. Before you started marketing, or a lot of people are like, well, should I hire a marketer or not? Before you started working with me, how many clients on average were you getting per week?
I was getting about, if I was lucky, I was getting 2 to 3 clients a week.
Okay.
I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning, so I went to an academy, did the training and everything. And after that, I was kind of left with nothing. I remember going to Facebook and going to like Marketplace and posting stuff. And I'm just like, I'm finding really cheap clients. I'm having to like sell brows for, I think, $100, and people still weren't happy. I really didn't know what to do until I found you.
Awesome. So as far as like, I guess for people who are watching, like maybe they've never hired a marketer before, maybe they've had a bad experience. What would you kind of summarize to them? Like, what are the benefits of working with a marketer? What are some things they should watch out for?
Okay. So I didn't know a lot about marketing before I hired you. So to begin with, I went to a couple different salons. I found a few other girls on Instagram that I was like, oh, I want to be like her, or how is she so successful? So I went to their salons and chatted with them for the day. One of the girls told me the reason why I have this salon and my business is so successful is because I hired a marketer. His name is Jake. And she was like, if you want to put money into your business, I recommend you doing this. And this will help your business take off. Well, I hesitated because I'm like, first of all, I had no idea about marketers. I really didn't know what they did. I didn't know, honestly, that was a huge part of the permanent makeup industry when I first started. So I was just missing a huge gap. There was a huge gap right there. So she told me about you. It took me like 1 to 2 months before I was like, okay, I'm going to put some money into this and I'm going to ask Jake if he'll work with me. But no, after we started working together, I think it took like 1 month, and I started getting clients. I would wake up in the morning and check my phone to like 10, 20 text messages of girls wanting to get their eyebrows done. And that's when I was like, holy, this is working. Okay, thank God, like something is working. And then I don't think it slowed down since. It's just been progressing ever since then. I'm doubling what I did last year. So it just amazes me to this day. So I always just want to say thank you so much, because I'm just like, what the hell? A lot of people are missing a huge thing when they don't hire a marketer. I only worked with you. I didn't talk to any other marketer. I didn't even compare prices or anything. I didn't really care. I was told to work with you, and so I did. So I didn't have to deal with anybody scamming me or anything, but I guess that's huge in this industry. I don't know, or just people not getting results. But I'm glad that I went to that salon and I met that girl and she told me about you, because it's worked. And I'm so thankful because I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I take care of them by myself. And this has really changed our lives, to be honest. From where I was 2 years ago to today, I still can't believe it. It's freaking amazing. It really is.
Yeah, that makes me feel great because, like, I know when we start a business, which understandably, we want to make money, we want to make an impact on the world, we want to, make an income. But like at the end of the day,
Right.
like hearing testimonials like this or hearing stories like this of how I've helped change somebody's life, that's what
Yeah.
really, to me, like, I mean, money's good, like whatever, but like to me, like hearing stories like this is what really, like, what I really live for. And that's what really keeps me going every day, still waking up
Yeah.
early and, working my butt off trying to make more results like this. Cause I love, hearing stories how I've impacted people. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Insane. Like I'm so happy that I don't know if I'll ever, I think I'm going to keep you forever. Like, why would I do my own marketing? It's so
Yeah.
easy, you know?
And that's the thing, like for those watching who have never really hired anybody, because it's a process as an entrepreneur. You start out and you kind of have to try to wear a lot of hats yourself. But just like, anything, like I don't mow my own yard. It's not that I can't necessarily do it, but somebody can do it more efficiently and better than I can. And I can spend my time doing what I'm good at and doing my craft that I can make more money at versus trying to do everything myself. And so you've got to learn to delegate, I think. If you're watching or listening to this and you don't really, maybe you've never hired anybody. So
Yeah.
that's awesome that, referrals are powerful. I guess you heard about me through a salon owner, so that's pretty cool.
Right. And that's how I knew that I could trust you too, because I saw that and I knew her, so I was like, okay, I can't go wrong here, right?
Yeah. And I mean, from a marketing standpoint, like back in the day, I was like the only marketer in the industry because I've been doing this like 6 years. Now there's
Yeah.
so many dudes that have just like jumped in this industry to try to make a quick buck that
Right.
it's really put a bad reputation on marketing in general, because there's so many guys who are like, oh yeah, I'll guarantee you 20 clients your first month. And they make all these false promises. And at the end of the day,
Right.
it's usually just a scam. But I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. It's just, it has become a lot harder to, get more clients from my own perspective, just because there's so many scams out there. And so, hearing, testimonials like this from you, like seeing people refer me, like I always really appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I started training people this year, just a few months ago, and that is a part of my class. I'm like, if you want your business to be very successful, you need to work with Jake Randolph because he does all the work for you. We are on social media so much as it is. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing the brows, we're at the salon, we're working, but then we go home and it doesn't stop there. Like, we have to work on our website, our Instagram, all of our social media. And so for you to take that part and do that's amazing. I can wake up and just reply to the text messages instead of worrying about how am I going to get clients today and like freaking out and stressing out, like kind of do the hard work for me, So it's, it helps a lot.
So if you had to go back, let's say a year ago when you first started with me, what are some things you would tell yourself? Like, what have you learned along the way? Maybe you learned something from one of my courses. Maybe you learned something from one of the things I taught you. Like, what are the biggest takeaways you've had so far?
You have to put money into your business to make money to begin with. I think, gosh, there's so many, and I have notes right here too. I think the biggest thing is, I don't know, I always tell my students, like, you have to, like, hiring a marketer, it sounds scary because you're putting money into that. And when you're not making money in the beginning, it's like, what am I going to pay him with? Like, what am I, like, I have to have a business running first. But how's your business going to run if you're not getting clients in the door? And just think, like, if you pay a marketer $5,000 to $1,000 a month, let's say, and then they're bringing in $10,000 a month for you. Like, what is that? Are you kidding me? At a normal job, an 8 to 5 job, I would have been making $2,000 a month. I wouldn't have been able to afford my rent with that. So I wouldn't even complain about that. Put money into a marketer, put money into your business. That's the biggest thing I've learned. I think a year ago, I would have just, right when she told me that, I would have just done it that day. But I didn't know. I was scared, So it took me a while. It took me a couple months, and I finally reached out to you. And that's when I'm like, wow, okay, game changer.
That's awesome. So as far as like, obviously not every single lead that anybody gets, like even the best marketers in the world, they don't have perfect leads that get 100% conversion rates. And so what is your best advice for those watching or listening? There's like, how do I convert clients? How do I get those bookings?
I would say a lot that I learned is gaining trust. I already have pre-typed notes out in my notes on my iPhone. So I already kind of have like pre-typed out what I'm going to say to my clients. So for instance, the best thing to convert my clients or my potential clients into my customers is, have you ever had your eyebrows done before?
Mm-hmm.
For some freaking reason, they want to answer that question, whether it's yes or no. And then if it's yes or no, I'm like, oh, okay, great. Do you have oily or dry skin? And then after that, I explain the process to them and I explain the different eyebrows. And I just have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And then finally, they're like, okay, well, how much is it? And I tell them the price and I'm like, so what day will work best for you? Here's the dates. And then they automatically just want to pick one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So to begin with, you're just gaining that trust. You're having that conversation. You're not right off the bat, like it's 350
Yep.
or 500. You know, you're not giving them the price. You're having that conversation and kind of getting to know them a little bit. That helps a lot. For clients that are super hesitant, I'll call them on the phone so that they can hear my voice, or I FaceTime. FaceTime is amazing. I have some people that are like, is this really you? I don't think this is really you and stuff. And I'm like, okay, would you like to FaceTime? Or come into my salon for, you know, a little 10-minute consultation and you can see the salon. So there's things that you can do. Sometimes you have to pry a little bit, but you can get people through the door as long as you're gaining that trust. That's the key.
Yeah, you made a good point. You know, a lot of amateurs, I would say, at selling, anytime they get a client, they're just like, or a potential client, they're just like, hey, here's the price. It's $500 or it's $350 or whatever. That never works. And so anytime I have an artist come to me and say like, Jake, I'm not converting these leads, the first thing I do is look at their conversations, and 90% of the time they're just given price up front.
Right. I had a friend like that, and she actually still works in Scottsdale, and she's like, I don't know why I'm not gaining clients. And I'm like, well, what are you saying to them? And she's like, well, they asked for the price and I give it to them. She's like, that's the price? What else am I going to say? And I'm just like, kind of veer them away from that question for a second, you know? They'll keep responding. They'll keep typing back. Just ask them questions. They want to answer them.
Yeah, because I know a lot of marketing agencies, they focus on leads, and, you know, obviously you have to have leads, but I like to focus on, as you've seen, you know, training my clients so that they're prepared to actually have a real conversation with people, like, and know how to convert them. Because if you know it, like, and to me, that's a skill that whether you continue to do permanent makeup or you start another business or whatever you do the rest of your life, you got to know how to persuade people and you got to know how to sell. And so that's the first thing I always teach my clients.
Yes. It's like selling a car.
All right. So like you said, things are going pretty good right now, or have been the past year. What are your what's your average monthly revenue right now with permanent makeup?
Right now it is at 10,000 a month.
Nice.
I can't say a month, but last month was my first month hitting 10,000.
Congrats.
I think that in the last year, I went from 5,000 a month to 7,000 to 8,000 to 10. So yeah, it's kind of worked its way up.
I love that, because like so many people right now are like, well, the PMU industry is saturated or the economy's bad. There's just so many excuses floating around out there, and you've done nothing but showed continual growth, you know, from investing in your business and continuing to hustle.
Right. Yeah, it's all about talking to your clients the right way and just gaining their trust, I feel. There's clients out there. Yep. And it doesn't matter how many permanent makeup artists there is. We're looking at Google Maps and there's like 10 permanent makeup artists between Scottsdale to Surprise in Arizona State. Are you freaking kidding? There's like hundreds of people out there, thousands, millions. It's endless. So I always hear that it's so saturated and how do you make money, or how long do you think this is going to last? And I'm like, forever.
I love that, because that's an abundance mindset. And to me, the biggest difference between people who are succeeding right now and not is the mindset. Because if you have a scarcity mindset, you're like, well, there's not enough customers out there, there's not enough money out there, you're going to be like mentally defeated. You're not going to take as much action as you should, and then you've already lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so
then you're going to find a second job.
Exactly. So that mindset is key. Like, yeah, if somebody's listening to this and you're not getting enough bookings, I want you to comment abundance below, because you need to get that abundance mindset, because that's going to be a game changer for you.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and, you know, sharing your experience. If they want to go look at your work and look at your business, what's a good Instagram account for that?
It's very long. Don't ever make a long Instagram account name, okay? But it's top-notch. It's top-notch microblading _ Arizona. So top-notch microblading _ Arizona. Sorry about that.
I mean, it's easy to remember, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty, thanks so much for coming on here. And guys, if you're watching this right now, please comment below, hit the like button, and then if you're listening to the podcast, please leave us a review on here. We do these things for free, and I'm just trying to get you guys some helpful information. So I always appreciate reviews. All right, guys, thank you. See you soon.